What is going on, all my haunted followers? I do apologize. So I haven't been able to upload the 7 Gates video simply because I'm still waiting for one of my friends to okay for me to share his part of the story. So that's pretty much why I haven't been able to upload. So hopefully that's be in the next week or so that he will okay it, because I'm not going to tell his part of the story without his permission. So paranormal equipment. On this video, I want to go over all the equipment that's used in the field and what a lot of teams use nowadays. And hopefully I'll go over exactly why we use it and how we use it. So the digital voice recorder. Obviously in the field we use the digital voice recorder to conduct EVPs. EVPs stand for electronic voice phenomena. So it's widely believed in the paranormal field that these devices can pick up things that we cannot hear with our naked ear. Spirits or ghosts speaking to us. Now, I am not a medium or I'm not a psychic, so having a device like this and be able to speak to a spirit is huge to me, because I can use this to communicate with a spirit when conducting an EVP session. So there's a general rule of thumb when conducting an EVP session, and that is 2 major things that I follow by. 1, the 10-second rule. The 10-second rule is giving 10 seconds for that spirit to answer. Now, you have to remember that a spirit takes a lot of energy just to answer us. So giving that spirit that 10 seconds, even if it's even 15 seconds, is perfect. Usually you're not going to get a direct answer right away. Usually it's within that 10-second rule. So I say always follow by that 10-second rule. So another general rule I follow by is I never let the spirit know that they have passed on, or say anything about being dead, because you have to remember that some of these spirits do not know that they have passed on. And that haunting can go from simple to worse, because now that spirit is pissed off and they may have not known they're dead. So never mention that they're dead. And you always want to ask simple questions. And simple questions could be anything like, who are you? Why are you here? Do you know such and such? Simple questions that will give an easy answer for that spirit to take that time, the energy to answer your questions. Well, there is a wide variety of voice recorders out there. Really, to be honest with you, the best ones are probably the ones with the USB ports. You're able to connect to your computer, upload that, and maybe clean up the sound a little bit. But to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter as long as you're able to record. I mean, you can even use your cell phone. You know, back when I started, I was using the recorders with the tape in it, and I was conducting EVP sessions with that. So, but now we have that advantage that technology has advanced, and we can use that to our advantage. So definitely the ones with the USB port that you can upload. Those are probably the best ones, and they're like 20-30 bucks. So paranormal investigators utilize the EMF detector. Basically, we're looking for, 1, high levels of EMF, and secondly, we're looking for random spikes at a home. Generally, when I go into an investigation, I will do an EMF sweep. I will go through the entire home and just getting a basic reading of the entire property. So I know that either you have a lot of EMF, or later on in the investigation, I'm going to catch a spike, and I will go over what a spike is. So a spike is a random EMF field that we did not detect during the EMF sweep. This is what we're looking for. It is widely believed in the paranormal field that spirits, when they're trying to manifest, they're drawing on energy, and they're going to create EMF. And this is basically what we're looking for when we are actually conducting the investigation, is those random spikes. And the best type of EMF field is the moving EMF field, I call it, where it almost has like an intelligence to it. That is basically, as investigators, what we're looking for. So electronic magnetic fields are also well known because we're looking for high levels, like I was saying. The reason we're looking for high levels is because high levels of EMF can cause tons of symptoms, and one of them is being hallucinations, and that is something that we're looking for when we conduct an investigation, is high levels of EMF. Another usage for a EMF detector is the K2 meter, and we can actually use the K2 meter on investigations and utilize it so the spirit can communicate with us. And that is another tool that you guys should check out, a K2 meter, because the spirit can utilize that and actually move the lights. So there's a huge variety of EMF detectors out there, going from like $20 all the way to the $230. For me, really, it doesn't really matter as long as it can conduct EMF sweeps and do EMF. That's all that really matters to me. Yeah, you know, you have your tri-field meter out there, which is like in the $230 range. It's definitely nice to have another meter that can conduct other levels of scans, like radio waves and other waves that we need to conduct when we're doing an investigation. But for me, you know, the $50 gauze meter or the K2 meter is a great tool for me because, you know, it's cheap and I'm just looking for EMF when I go into an investigation. So the digital camera. Obviously the digital camera is used on investigation to take pictures of the home, and what we're looking for is human figures, apparitions in the picture, any type of anomaly in the picture that we're looking for, orbs, which I'm going to get into in a couple seconds about orbs, but that's generally what we use a digital camera for. So when taking a picture using a digital camera, you're basically just looking for any anomalies that weren't there in the picture before, something, you know, and with a human figure shape, something that stands out in the picture that wasn't there before, obviously. Trying to get into orbs. So orbs, I hate them because they are nothing to me. They are just a balls of energy, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're paranormal. And two, with a digital camera, you got to be careful because remember that flash bounces back and reflects off anything. So a bug, dust, anything that's going to get in the picture could be thought as an orb when it's really not. So digital cameras, to me, on investigation, can be my best friend, or they can be my. How I use a digital camera on investigation is, if I find a random EMF spike, if I feel something next to me or I feel something behind me, I'll take a picture. If one of my investigators says they see something over in the corner or something behind them or something around them that I can take a picture of, because remember, spirits are moving 10 times the speed that we're moving, and having that picture taken, I'm able to slow that down enough that we can capture them. Again, with the digital camera, just be really careful when you're using these things, because you don't want to take pictures and jump to conclusions because you think you have orbs in the picture, and then they turn out to be nothing but dust or a bug. So be really careful when you use a digital camera. Again, a digital camera for me is only used on investigation when I really need to use something. When I find a spike or something that I thought I saw, I'll take a picture of that and hopefully capturing something that was not seen by my eyes. So obviously, again, there's a huge variety of digital cameras out there. Really, all it needs to do for me is take a picture. There's definitely those really nice ones out there that are run like in the 200s that have the night vision, who have the UV light filter. Those are really nice because those can be used in different ways. I don't like having the cameras with a flash because I'm always afraid it's going to bounce back. So I do try to get night vision cameras or digital cameras with a UV filter in them. But those usually run in the 200s. So a simple digital camera is going to do you just fine. So the DVR system, not too many people have the privilege to own one of these, but for me, it is the essential tool on investigation. We as investigators can use the DVR system to utilize it in so many different ways. One, covering a home without having worrying about investigators. Putting the camera in a location that I don't feel comfortable putting my investigators, and generally just covering, you know, a location that we can't be at that time, and having someone monitor that room. Many times before, I've been monitoring a DVR on the monitor, and I've seen something happen in another room, and had my investigators go to that room to investigate it. You know, another way to utilize these things is, one, you can set these up and leave them, and leave the home and go do something else, or leave them overnight so that camera's monitoring that. And some of them have the live stream that you can connect to with your phone, so you can monitor once you leave the investigation and hopefully capture something when you're not there. So the system that I have is from Samsung. It's a 10-channel system. I believe it's 10-channel, and my other one's 7-channel. So I can utilize all those cameras on investigations. And again, going back, these DVR systems are great tools on investigation, and really, they're well worth the money. I know, again, they're really expensive, but definitely well worth the money. And if you have a group, or you're, you know, starting a group and you're starting doing the investigations, it's definitely something that you guys should definitely check out. So definitely check out a DVR system. So the holy grail of ghost hunting and paranormal investigation is the thermal camera. I can't explain enough why these things are great. I mean, they're detecting heat and cold spots. You can see I've actually seen a spirit manifestation appear on these cameras. They are extremely expensive. Unfortunately, I don't have one. Someday I will maybe bite the bullet and buy one, but they're just, to me, again, they're the holy grail of paranormal investigating. So again, going back, these things are utilized greatly on paranormal investigations, cryptozoological hunting, anything. These things are great tools. They have come out definitely much cheaper versions with a little screen, but the ones that are really, really good that I would love to utilize are somewhere between, I think like the last price I checked was like $6,000-7,000. They are not cheap by any means. The flare cameras, they're great. They run in the thousands, but again, that little screen, you have to really, really end up spending a lot of money to have one of these. So the digital thermometer is another great tool that we utilize on investigation. We use it so we can look for temperature change in the room, cold spots. Cold spots are what happens when the spirit is trying to manifest and is drawing in that energy, and it's actually drawing energy from the air, and that is what creates a cold spot. It's actually drawing in the heat, basically, if you will. So you're gonna find that random cold spot. That's what we're using the digital thermometer to look for cold spots. So the only real downside to these is that I did an experiment a couple years ago. I took the analog, the laser pointer ones, opened a freezer and pointed at the freezer. Instead of reading the temperature that was coming out of the freezer, it was reading the temperature that's on the wall. So it's just something you need to look out for when using these. Again, they're definitely great tools for finding cold spots and finding temperature change in the room. So with digital thermometers, they run really cheap, guys. They're probably ones somewhere around like 20s to the 30s, so maybe 40s. I wouldn't spend any more than that. There's really, it's a great piece of equipment to have, but really not that necessary when you can just get a basic thermometer, and that's all you really want to do is read the temperature of the room. Again, if you're looking for cold spots, they're great, but you gotta be really careful with them. So the video camera, again, just like the digital camera, it has a variety of uses. Another useful tool in the investigation. Every investigation I try to videotape, not all the time, but I do. And if you can get one that has night vision and UV filter, huge. They're definitely great because if you're videotaping an investigation and an incident happens, you can show the homeowner, and you might even pick up something that you didn't see when you were there with your naked eye. So generally a digital camera, they run anywhere between $300 to $400, for the really good ones that has night vision, or night shot, if you will. And there's ones that has a UV filter. If you can pick one of those up, they're great to have. We use the digital camera for our own sake, something that we could pick up on the investigation that we didn't see. It's for the homeowner, it's for documentation of the investigation. So a digital camera is definitely something that you should pick up, definitely something that you should be using on investigation. So I'm sure there's a couple types of equipment that I didn't mention. Obviously, there's newer equipment, there's the Ovilus, there's those REM pods, things that I've only used a couple times. I'm very old-fashioned when it comes to investigation. I don't need thousands of dollars in equipment to conduct an investigation. Small tools, I can utilize just as much as the new ones. I would love to have an Ovilus. I've seen it used before. It became very popular from the show Ghost Adventures. Basically, it's a electronic device that has a word database that the spirit can utilize to communicate with you instead of conducting EVPs, which is great. So guys, I hope that you liked the video. I know that I missed a whole bunch of equipment. It's mind-boggling what they have out there now. But this is just your basic equipment and the basic uses for them. If you're just starting out in this field, all you're going to need is a voice recorder and a digital camera, and that's all you're going to need. So hopefully you liked the video. Please like and subscribe at the bottom, and hopefully I'll get that 7 gates video up soon. Happy hauntings.